Hello, this is chapter 2.3 Economic Surplus. What is surplus? There's two surplus, which is consumer surplus and producer surplus. So consumer surplus is difference between willing to pay and actually paying. Producer surplus is difference between the salary received and willing to sell for. As you can see in this graph, this is the graph for the Apple. And where this consumer surplus exists in the market is, if you look at it, there's an equilibrium point right here between supply and demand. And right in the equilibrium point, one in the up is consumer surplus, and one in the down is producer surplus. How do we calculate for consumer surplus? So if you can see, this is a maximum consumer surplus and minimum consumer surplus. You subtract maximum to minimum of consumer surplus, times it by the equilibrium point on the quantity over 2. And that equals, which is 400. What happens when demand increases for consumer surplus? So for the consumer surplus, when the demand increases, it generally decreases the consumer surplus. As you can see in the graph, this is a graph of the Apple again. And as you can see, if the popularity of Apple increases, the demand of the Apple will also increase. As you can see, the equilibrium point of the graph shifted to be upward for the price, which makes the consumer surplus to have a less amount to be in the graph. Thank you so much.